A common theme on this show is that, wow, the people leading us are absolutely bonkers. And you grow up thinking, oh, those people up in government making big boy decisions, they probably have their stuff together. No, is the answer you learn as you grow up, unfortunately. And we see that a lot with the Trump administration. Now with MAGA figures in the Texas state government, which I am governed by here in Texas, it gets somehow even worse, okay? So when you go, oh, well, the federal government's out of control, but maybe my state government, not this one. I want to bring in Brittany Page to explain a scandal that has taken place regarding the now former Texas Solicitor General, Judd Stone. Brittany, thanks for being with us.
I'm very excited to be here, although a little nervous to get into the details here because this story is a little... it sounds
raunchy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It sounds unbelievable.
The kids maybe shouldn't be in the room for this one because Judd Stone had some nasty things to say that are now coming to light, leading to him resigning his position in the Texas state government. So I'll show just for perspective and so that we know who we're talking about. This is Judd Stone. He was the Texas Solicitor General working under Attorney General Ken Paxton, who also is a terrible character. So what got Judd in hot water? He's such a nice guy. It looks like he's such a nice guy.
Yeah, well, it turns out Judd is a complicated guy, and we know this because of new reporting that started in the Texas Tribune, and this is from court filings that are included in a lawsuit on Tuesday against two of Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton's top deputies, Judd Stone being one of them. So Judd Stone is one of the men involved in this lawsuit. Chris Hilton is another involved in this lawsuit, and they're being sued by Jordan Askew, a former employee of the Attorney General's office, for sexual harassment allegations. Because of this lawsuit, we're learning additional details which are being reported in 404 media. And this is where things really start to go off the rails with Judd Stone. Now, there was this letter that was written by a man named Brent Webster, and he's the first Assistant Attorney General of Texas. He wrote a letter that was making the rounds at the Texas Attorney General's office about some of Judd Stone's behavior. And again, I just want to kind of give a little content warning. You can see the headline of this 404 media article giving you a little glimpse, but if you don't want to hear about sexual assault allegations, maybe just tune out, okay? So here's what Judd Stone was fantasizing about. Let's just get into it. Yeah. Judd Stone, again, let's repeat, the former Solicitor General of Texas, okay, resigned, quote, following sexual harassment complaints from colleagues in which he allegedly discussed a disturbing sexual fantasy he had, we're now quoting Brent Webster, about me, Brent Webster, violently anally raping by a cylindrical asteroid in front of my wife and children.
Or being violently anally raped by a cylindrical asteroid.
Judd was having this fantasy about Brent Webster being raped in front of his children with a cylindrical asteroid.
What do we mean? I'm confused. Wow. Let's see what to say. The fantasy part's confusing me. Are we saying, was this I'm so mad at him, I hope the worst thing happens to him, like he's anally raped by a cylindrical asteroid, which would be insane? Or is this he was sexually fantasizing about watching Brent getting, to quote again, anally raped by a cylindrical asteroid? You said in front of his wife and kids, or just wife?
Yeah, wife and kids. And, it's a good question. I mean, it's a question. It's a question that allows me to give more information. I don't know if it's good because is any of this good? I don't feel good about any of this, right? But there, in the actual letter that Brent Webster wrote, he went into detail about how this even became known to him. And apparently, this is what he writes, after Judd was promoted to be Solicitor General, I took Judd to lunch at Lupe Tortilla in North Austin.
Now, that's a good part because Lupe Tortilla is excellent. And I have had it and it's very good.
Okay, is this episode sponsored by Lupe Tortilla? Maybe not after this conversation that happened.
Enchiladas and rape fantasies, Texas.
Oh my God. I took Judd to lunch at Lupe Tortilla in North Austin to get to know him a little better. You take your colleague out to lunch. They're new at the office. You want to get to know him. Well, here's how things went at Lupe Tortilla. I learned about Judd's life story. He decided to let me know that he had, and now in this letter it's redacted, so things are going south. He assured me that, also redacted, things are going south. Based off the lies in this attached letter he sent, his past history with women, and his pedophilic desire to have my children see me raped by a cylindrical asteroid, I am concerned that Judd is no longer and poses a physical threat to me and my family. Yeah, you think?
At Lupe. I mean,
at
don't
Lupe
ever say
Tortilla.
such things, but at Lupe? You can say Lupe? Tortilla over an enchilada plate. You can't do that. That's absolutely insane, Brittany. I do apologize.
Can you imagine like the people that are just trying to enjoy their lunch at Lupe Tortilla and they're like, what the hell's going on at this table?
The pedophilic component to it, or whatever you call him wanting his kid. Yeah, that's just absolutely horrifying. And now we have concerns about his ability to be a father, I think, reasonably. And then wanting someone to be raped. I said, now I have 2 layers of insanity. But can we not just race on past? So those are the 2 important points. A little bit more lightheartedly, but let me address it. An asteroid? Like, where did that come into this picture? I don't even know what that means. Well, am I missing something? Is that like maybe, is that a thing? Is that no? Is this
you're asking me if that's a thing?
Double entendre? like is it asteroid?
Luke, let me tell you all about it. It's a huge thing. I know all about it.
Like like that comes down from space? How would that, what?
You know, we really missed the opportunity to have Judd Stone on the phone to be able to fill us in on additional specific details of his fantasy. And it's disturbing also because apparently Judd worked in Senator Ted Cruz's office. And obviously. He was also terminated from that office for complaints from women about his behavior in the office. So this is just a man who allegedly, was making the rounds in various political offices and various jobs of high positions of power, harassing anyone apparently who he could get at Lupe Tortilla. And it's sad because in this lawsuit that we're hearing about from this former employee of the Attorney General's office who was subjected to this behavior, you know, she had to hear about his fantasies that he had. And she said she left at one point in tears because she couldn't listen to the fantasy that he was describing anymore. And then she came back into the room and people were joking that she couldn't handle people talking about dicks. You know, so it's like, it's sad for someone to be in this situation where they're being harassed by an unhinged person who won't stop talking about their cylindrical asteroid rape fantasies in the office or at Lupe Tortilla.
And how sick, all of that's sick, but just to go back to it, how sick do you have to be? I guess this is all alleged. We don't have audio tape. I do want to note that. It's allegedly happened. But how sick do you have to be to imagine or like want to have your kids witness what would be a violent sex crime? I don't know. I'm trying to also contextualize, like if he would, no, I was kidding. What his defense be? I was kidding. There's, the asteroid makes it like, oh, maybe, oh, wait, the kids then completely wipe out that. What joke would that have been?
Yeah. And I mean, again, I think like the multiple allegations against him and the different locations that it happened in as well. This is kind of what happens when like someone is allowed to like move around without consequence. And I never heard about anything happening from Senator Ted Cruz's office. They're not like releasing information to the public about one of his employees in his office being terminated for sexual harassment allegations. So I think sometimes this is what happens is someone is terminated for these reasons and then they go off and continue to do this until there's finally a consequence, which we're now seeing in this lawsuit that was filed on Tuesday. Oh,
and let me know, I really do apologize because I was unfamiliar with this story. Judd Stone resigned after admitting to the statements. So not allegedly, he admitted to them. I do want to correct that. A letter circulated at the Texas Attorney General's office states. Yeah, okay, well then never mind. That, wow, admitted to it. Well, you know, I agree with you about how does someone from Ted Cruz's office not get on the phone with Ken Paxton and say, hey, you don't want to employ this guy before it even gets to this? Well, the part is they have a lot of terrible people who are working for them. So it's kind of hard to distinguish. And these are the people, okay, that are telling you they have the moral high ground. These are the people, I'm not saying all of them, just to be clear. I don't think every single person who says that has a anally raped cylindrical asteroid fantasy thing, or sexually harasses people.
Oh my God.
But it is interesting that so often the people screaming the most about my religion needs to be yours, we need to force this form of morality onto you and that form, then end up being behind the scenes so utterly disgusting and detached from their own supposed principles. Any final thoughts, Brittany? And then we'll get out of this story because I feel disgusting.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wish that Lupe Tortilla wasn't being dragged down in the mud with all this, since you are giving them, positive reviews, and hopefully they can not have any negative repercussions from being featured in this story. We
only have positive things. Keep Lupe out of it. Keep it out of it. Okay, it's good. Brittany, tell people where they can support your work.
You can find me right here on YouTube. Just search my name, Brittany Page, and I would love to see you over there.